Have you ever wondered why some real estate investors have a great relationship with their mortgage lenders, whereas other real estate investors seem to hate the process of looking for financing and lending? Well, in today's episode of the Never Lose a Deal podcast, that is what I'm going to talk about today. Is your lender your ally or your arch enemy? Welcome. My name is Lorillia, and as I said, this is the Never Lose a Deal podcast. This podcast is for real estate investors who are looking to creatively expand and scale their real estate portfolio using different forms of creative financing. And that is what I want to talk about today. Let's discuss the lending process. That's right. The lending process. And is your lender an ally or an arch enemy? Now, I decided to do this episode because I recently came across a conversation that was a little disheartening because this particular time I processed it different. And I've seen this pattern of behavior before, and I want to give the listening audience or the watching audience a different perspective with how they can make their lending relationship or process different. So here recently in my local market, a mortgage lender that I know that specializes in a different form of financing, which is FHA, recommended someone that they know for a fix or flip loan. And you may have heard me say, before in other podcasts, that is what I do. I help real estate investors get different forms of financing to be able to expand their portfolio. And so rehab loans is an area that I do assist real estate investors. Well, lo and behold, this particular investor was looking for a rehab loan and or fix or flip for a fix or flip. They were looking to buy a home from an auction site and then from there be able to fix it. And when I started to ask some questions, this particular investor got very agitated and so like I said, I've seen this behavior before. And now that I've talked to hundreds and hundreds of people, probably even thousands, whether they're online or offline. And I've noticed this behavior, and it's primarily the behavior of someone who doesn't know how the process works. And that is what I want to talk about today. When I say this behavior shows up with individuals who don't know the process, I can't stress this enough that if you decide to go into the space of fix to flip, rehabs, investment loans, and you're not using FHA or some type of conventional loan, the process to get financing is different. I know a lot of times with many investors, especially investors who decide to cross over in this area, their FHA mortgage person, man or woman, voice is louder than the professionals in the other space. So they approach the process like they do with FHA, meaning that they're looking for the lender to provide some type of guidance to give them the home. And unfortunately, the fix and flip space, commercial space, all that falls under commercial is not like that. So when I asked a particular investor, tell me something about the deal, they should know from a profit standpoint what is the potential profit that the deal is going to make. And so when I asked those questions and I began to probe, the person got very agitated. You can just hear the sound of their voice, and they just wanted someone, or should I say myself, to, I guess, lean in the area of what they wanted. And one may say, well, Lori, what do you mean by lean in the space or in what they wanted? The person really wanted me to pretty much guide them on how they should analyze the deal because they, from a profitability standpoint, they couldn't tell me anything about the deal besides this is what I want to buy it for and this is what it will appraise for. Okay, those aren't the numbers that you're going to need if you want to get some type of lender financing. I would even say, even if you had all the business lines of credit, all the cash in the bank, you wouldn't even want to do that yourself. And so when I've seen this behavior, I try to share with people if they're open, become an ally with the lending person that you want to work with, not an arch enemy, because there is no reason why a lender or someone in my position would want to work with an investor who wants to be adversarial as well as agitated because clearly financing in this capacity is based on numbers. It's not based on house hacking. It's not based on what it may appreciate for. It's not based on, oh, it's in a great location. It is based on numbers. And so, for the listening audience as well as the watching audience, if you are in looking to get financing in this space, understand the numbers are what's important. Meaning that when you hear a lender and you're casually having a conversation and they say, tell me something about the deal, they literally want you to tell them how would it be profitable for them? And then also, how would it be profitable for you? Because if the deal isn't going to make money for you, why do you think someone wants to finance it? And many investors who don't understand this space don't understand that. Now, here on the Never Lose a Deal podcast, I talk a lot to the seasoned professional. So I was telling that person who gave me the recommendation, I gave them a framework and I pretty much gave them a document that if you're going to refer someone to me, have them to answer these particular questions. And the reason why I have individuals to uh, answer those questions is because if I can't get answers for those questions up front, then what are we on the phone about? Because now it becomes really, and this is what a lot of investors don't know, but I'll pick up on it. And as well as other seasoned lending professionals know this too, you really don't know anything about how this deal works, how it can be profitable for you, and you're looking for someone to pretty much hold your hand and show you if it is profitable. And unfortunately, that's outside of the scope of what it is that lending professionals like myself would do. Now, I tell people, is there an area of my business where I do work as a funding and financing advisor? And now, if that person needed advisement on how they should present a deal, to a lender, yes, I can work in that capacity. But if a person is just coming to me and they want pricing, they have a particular deal, they want pricing on rates and fees and what have you, so they can be able to proceed and move on to that deal, then I'm not putting on the hat of an advisor. I'm putting on the hat of, okay, this is someone who is looking for lending, and let me see if it fits into the buy box of what I work with, and we can proceed with that. I say that to say, me as a professional, who helps people with funding and financing, I have a client avatar of who I ideally work with. I know that from the door. Even if I am assisting real estate investors with unsecured lines of credit or business credit cards, there's still a criteria of the client that I work with. And I'm very clear on that. Now, I communicate that a lot. If I'm speaking somewhere, if I'm having a casual conversation, I tell people, if you're looking for someone who can assist you in the capacity of you're looking to expand your portfolio, you want to just get some guidance on that this is what I'm when I wear my advisor hat, and you're looking for advisement on what is the best way to present what it is that you wanted to do to a lender, then that's where I can assist you. Because once again, going back to the ally versus the archenemy, you have credit professionals, business credit professionals who want to advise investors on how they can get lines of credit and credit cards to be able to do real estate deals. And by all means, once again, knowing your avatar of what type of person you are, that's why I tell people, if you just want one business credit card to just buy a home, by all means, I'm probably not your person. I'm not your person for that. But if you're looking to be able to leverage that financing and pair it with other financing, that's a process that many credit professionals don't know how to really assist an investor on. So what happens is an investor wants to leverage, because this is what I found out after having a conversation with the person. They wanted to leverage those forms of capital, unsecured lines, or what have you, but they did not know how to communicate it and what it is that they wanted to be able to do with securing this asset that they wanted to buy. The reason why that is so important, because a lender needs to know upfront what it is that you're doing. Going back to ally versus archenemy, if you're looking to create an ally with a lender, now I know here on the internet, you got a lot of talk of, robbing the bank, run the play. And I tell people that that's a mindset. And it could be a very lethal mindset if your future decisions are to be able to do something on a much bigger scale. Because eventually you're going to get to a point where credit cards and lines of credit are not going to be able to meet your needs. That's if you're doing this for the long run. Now, if you're just trying to, get a quick lick, by all means, it'll work. But if you're looking to do this from a long-term standpoint, building relationships is important. Having a lending ally is important, because if you want to bring in those alternate, as I call them, alternate forms of capital, lines of credit, credit cards, term loans, if you want to be able to creatively put all that together, you need to be upfront. Because a lot of investors, what happens is they want to keep things quiet, thinking that they're going to outsmart the lender because they're trying to rob the bank or run the play. And then what happens is they've now become an archenemy. Because understand, your reputation follows you in this. I tell people, this lending space is very small. All these lenders, they know each other. I tell people that I work directly with lenders. So what that means is many of them are all connected. I don't care if you're in New Jersey where I'm at, down in Georgia, across to Washington State, in California, at this. Uh, Let me say this: if you're looking for financing that goes beyond a credit card or your local bank, and you are looking to be able to get some type of investor financing, understand many of these lenders all know each other. Because once again, investing financing is different than FHA. A lot of times here on the internet, you're listening to someone who's an FHA specialist. By all means, they do it all day, every day. That is great. That's called you have niche areas. When you decide to go outside that realm of FHA and conventional, and now you want to go into the investing space, your reputation goes along with you. So you want to be very careful with creating these arch enemy personalities, taking on these behaviors of run the play, rob the bank, this, that, and the other. And you know that you want financing from a third party. It can even be a private lender. You have a lot of people running around who are look like, how can I find private lenders? Where are the private lenders? Your reputation, it follows you. The number one thing when I'm talking to an investor, especially one who is doing deals, that now a person may say, well, really, you're always saying you work with investors who are already doing deals and see. But once again, going back to client avatar, if I talk to an investor and I know they are actively doing deals, and I ask them, tell me something about what you look for in a lender, and I talk to them and I know that they've kind of lender hop, that's a red flag for me. I'm very careful of investors who lender hop. They go from this lender to that lender to this lender. And a lot of times, many people will try to mask that as, oh, I'm just looking for the best rate. No, you have burnt bridges with lenders, and now you're looking to go to the next lender. Because this is what smart professionals know in any area. You carry this in any area. Everywhere you go, you are who you are. The professional who decides to create an ally with a lender will get and want to go deep. They are going to get the best terms than the person or the investor who says, oh, well, the reason why I go to different lenders is because I'm looking for the best deals. No, you're not looking for the best deals. 9 times out of 10, you may have burnt some bridges. So now you're just going from lender to lender to lender. Well, eventually it's going to catch up with you. Because any smart professional only needs about one or two. Even even myself, and I may work with people who are already working with professionals, lending professionals. They have their relationships. They're honest with me and they will say, Lorillia, I am happy with who I am working with. I've been working with them for a long time, but I am open to working with you. But understand, I'm not going to let that lending relationship go. And I understand that because I know that is very important. Having an ally, not an arch enemy. Having allies or becoming a person who has arch enemies in any space. But today I'm talking about lending. It's not going to take you far. So if I can leave you with anything from this conversation, have a lending avatar. Create one for yourself. What is it that you're looking for in a lender? Because if you're saying, Maria, I would like to create an ally with a lender, I'd like to have a relationship. Well, what does that look like for you? Because don't be the investor that's going around from lender to lender to lender to lender, picking up all these tactics that really, it almost, it creates a sense of you're not serious. because at the end of the day, I get it. Some people have to start from a certain place. But if your goal is to do this long term, and I always say real estate is an asset class that you do long term, it's not for people who need a quick hit. If you need a quick hit, real estate may not be it. I mean, the only thing that I can think of is really wholesaling, but wholesaling is active income. It's not a passive income asset class when it comes to real estate. But for the investor who, hey, they are looking, which is what I talk about in this podcast, expanding their portfolio, scaling their portfolio, they know that they're going to need a lending professional on their team. Going back to your different advisors, any professional, primarily we're talking about real estate, if you are very good at what it is that you do, you're not trying to wear all hats. You're not trying to be the accountant of your business. You're not trying to be the legal of your business. You're not trying to be the bookkeeper. You're not trying to be the tax person. You're not trying to be the I said legal. You're not trying to be the funding piece. You're not trying to be the estate planner of your business. And that's the same way with funding and financing. You know that this is not where I'm looking to be the know it all. I may have an idea of what I'm looking for, but I am looking to create a relationship, once again, create an ally, of course, with someone like myself to be able to help you to pursue your goals. That is what professionals in this industry that are looking to go the long term are looking to do. And that is what I'm here for. That's why I created the Never Lose a Deal podcast. And let me share this as I go. As I film this video, not sure when you'll watch it, but as I film it, it is now summer of 2025. I will be doing a summer series, webinars, private webinars, not looking for them to be really big webinars with people. Why? Not looking to um, put it out there for information seekers. So it's not for those individuals who just, hey, I just want to just get some information. No, it's really for the professional who is looking to, hey, I want to expand my portfolio. I want to scale my portfolio, but I don't know all the financing options out there. And if you're that person, you know you don't know all the financing options. You have an idea, but you're looking for someone who can be the eyes of that area of your business, then you need to be part of the webinar. And so you will see a link below this video. It is a Google Doc. So it's nothing fancy. Just want to get an idea of who will be in attendance for a lot of these webinars. Looking to keep it at 15 or less people because, like I said, it's going to be a small group. I'm even going to have people that I know here locally, clients that I work with, to be on these webinars. So I'm not looking to have a lot of eyeballs, you know. So understand those who attend, they will be vetted. It's not something that you can just hop on a link and just kind of eavesdrop and see what goes on. You will be vetted, want to get a feel of who is in the room because like I said, unfortunately, it's not a beginner's room. So it's not for individuals who are looking for a business credit card and looking to buy their first property. By all means, those things have its place, but they're not for these particular summer series webinars. So once again, this is Lorillia. Glad to be able to share this information with you. And if you know someone who is a real estate professional and they are looking for ways to expand and scale their real estate portfolio and they want to kind of tap in and listen to ways that they can do that, please share this podcast with them. Until the next time, I will see you then. Bye bye.